One of the other things you guys are going to be discussing is Bruce Prichard.
Oh, man.
This makes the newsletters. Bruce Prichard is being brought back for a role where he is to appear at the upcoming tapings as one of those people, and this may be as early as the March 9th show being taped on March 2nd. Prichard is booked for that show. Right now, Prichard is only coming in as a television character and will continue his podcasts. In fact, he essentially got the gig because of how strong his podcast numbers were, and Jeff Jarrett hoping that his podcast listeners would start watching TNA. So we've all been wondering, how does this come to be? And is this report true that you were interested in bringing back Bruce instead of Russo, which was the rumor at the time, because of podcast numbers?
So, Conrad, when I read the research a month or so ago, I remember reading this and I'm thinking, I'm going to flip the switch. I'm going to ask Conrad. So, Conrad, I got to ask you, when is the first time you heard that I had reached out to Bruce? Like, what you got to pull the curtain back for me this go around. What on your side, because I'll get to where I wanted to go and look the budgets and let me not jump ahead. Let me ask you that. What'd you hear? Because this is when all right, let's get a set point for my world listeners. When did Something to Wrestle With launch?
It started the first week of August in 2016, and it started to gain some steam and some momentum. And we actually started our new deal with a big money guarantee and all that jazz in January of 2017.
Okay.
So I'm actually, believe it or not, we did our first at the time. Megan and I were just dating. She lived in Charlotte. I lived in Huntsville. So we both flew to San Antonio. She brought her daughter. I brought mine. And I remember she and I were checking into the hotel there on Riverwalk. It was Friday, January 27th, 2017. And I got a call from Bruce and he says, "Can you talk?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Are you alone?" And I'm standing by Megan and the girls. So I go, "Yes." Because, like, that counts as alone with whatever he's going to say.
Yep.
And he says, "You're not going to believe this. I just got a call from Jeff Jarrett." And I said, "Oh, cool. How's he doing?" He goes, "They want me to be a television character for Impact." Now, to add context to that, our most downloaded episode, it did like 1 million listens. Now, listen, the way they count listens has changed. There's a new standard in place for podcast listening.
Who cares?
So in this era, though, people like ourselves and Jericho and Austin, we're all sort of hyping up the numbers because they're just crazy high. Now they've been standardized, they're more reasonable. Still, 1 million people had listened to that episode. And maybe the reason people were so were gravitating to it the way they were is because Bruce wasn't as careful or guarded. We all know that Bruce looks at Vince as almost like a father figure type character. They have a relationship that, employment status is not going to change. However, he did not look at Dixie Carter as a mother figure. So, boy, he was just double barreling stuff and just telling the gun blue truth, and people gravitated to it in a big way. But there was not a lot positive said about Impact. In fairness, that was a previous regime. This is not the same set of management. And I think from your standpoint, you and I have never talked about it. It had to be like, if he just got over trashing us and now he's going to come in, we could lean into that. We could play off of this. What really happened?
I love that. I cannot believe we've never gone that folks, my world. I've never heard that out of Conrad's mouth ever. I knew kind of the rough, but I definitely know the Bruce situation.